Good boy. Stay. Let's go. Good boy. Stay. Okay, let's go. All right. Down. Stay. Okay. Geronimo. Here. Good. Okay. Geronimo. Here. Good. Okay. Place. Stay. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. Good boy. Drop it. Good boy. Oh, sit. Come over here. Drop it. Good. Woo. Good boy. Drop it. Yes. Right here. Drop it. Good job, Geronimo. Drop it. Good. Good boy. Hi, this is Ashley from Top Dog Training and Resort. So we just showed you everything that Geronimo has learned, and now I'm going to show you how to give each command step by step. There's two parts to every command. One, the command to just sit, and then the release word, which for him is okay. So that frees him up to do what he wants until you give him the next command to do. When you give him a command, you want to make sure you turn and face him, so you're demanding his attention. He is focused on you, and then he's going to be much quicker to listen to what you're going to say. And we do a verbal as well as a hand signal to help him visually and auditorially. So for sit, the hand signal is going to be palm towards the ceiling as you say the command. Sit, good boy. And then for down, the hand signal is going to be palm towards the ground. Down, good boy. Good. And then for place, so okay. Place is any designated area that you want him to go on. We usually instruct him to lay down, or he will lay down on his own. You want it to be a place where he is very comfortable to be. So for place, the hand signal is going to look like you're kind of presenting it to him, like you're swooping with your hand over the place bed as you say the word place. Okay. Place. Good boy. Okay. And then for the stay command, so stay means to hold whatever position you put him in, either a place, a down, or a sit. The stay command, what it looks like is going to be like a palm towards his muzzle to remind him to stay. Good boy. And then you want to make sure when you release him from the stay, you go back to him, praise him, okay, good boy, and then release him with okay. Good boy. For coming when called, this is the one command you're going to want to make sure you use his name first. So it's going to be Geronimo here. It's going to be an outstretched arm in towards your body as you call him, nice and loud, be animated, make him want to come to you. And then he should finish sitting right in front of you before he gets any reward or praise. Geronimo, here. Good boy. Okay. Geronimo, here. Good. Okay. In that instance, if he were to jump up on you, the command for that is going to be off. Good boy. And then you reward him for sitting because we're replacing the bad behavior, the jumping up, with a good behavior, a sit. Good boy. When you want to heel with him or walk with him on a leash, the command is going to be let's go. When you lead off, he's going to be on your left-hand side and you're going to pat your leg as you say let's go. And then he's expected to stay in line with your leg as you walk. When you come to a stop, he's also expected to automatically sit next to you. Ready? Let's go. Good boy. Good boy. Very nice. Good. Okay. The leave it command, you saw I practiced with throwing treats on the ground. The leave it command is when he gets fixated on something and you want him to return his focus back to you. So when you tell him leave it, as soon as he returns his focus back to you, make sure you reward him or praise him. And then the drop it command is going to be used, of course, if he has something in his mouth. We like to play drop it, swap it. So we have two similar value items to him. Throw one, let him have it in his mouth, maybe encourage him to bring it back to you, and then tell him drop it. As soon as he does, you want to throw the other toy. So it's going to be like an ongoing game for him, and you're showing him that if he drops something, he's going to get something in return, whether it be another toy or a treat. Good boy. Sit. Good. And that's all the commands. Now I'm going to show you how to correct him if he chooses not to comply on the first try. We're always going to give a warning reprimand, which is going to be an So it's just a verbal reminder that he has failed to do something the first time, and that's his warning before we use the leash and the prong collar. With the prong collar, you want it to sit up as high on his neck as possible, and the way it should be fitted is never dangling off of him. Bless you. But fairly snug to his neck, but not too snug that you can't reach your hand in there and kind of maneuver it around. But you never want it dangling off of him in any way. Good boy, you ready? So for sit, we'll do the same commands again. If he doesn't do it, you first give him the verbal reprimand, and then for sit, the correction with the leash is going to look like this. Pop straight up between his head with the leash. Just pop and release the tension immediately, and continue the correction until he sits, and then you want to make sure you praise the reward after he's complied, even if you've had to correct him. What a boy. You ready? Sit. Good boy. Of course, if he complies the first time, corrections aren't needed. Make sure you give him that praise. Down. Good boy. If you weren't to lay down, the correction with the leash is going to be a pop and release about a 45-degree angle towards the ground. Remember, continue the correction until he lays down. Okay. Don't repeat the command, but repeat the correction. Excuse me. Okay. Place. Good boy. If you weren't to place, you're just going to pop and release towards the place bed until he gets on, of course. Good. Stay. And then when he's in a stay, if he were to break it, I tried to make him break it. You want to bring him back, put him back in the position that he was in, remind him to stay, and then kind of do it again, go back to him. Okay! And make sure he holds it until you say okay. If he gets up and breaks it and there's no consequence, you don't bring him back, he's going to try it. He's going to be more likely to try it. Good boy. Okay, for the recalls, so if you call him to come and he's on leash, the correction with the leash is going to be a pop towards you. So think about where you want him to be if he does not come when you call him, pop towards you. Okay, Geronimo, here. Good boy. You trying to shake? Oh, that's a boy. Okay. And then when you are healing with him, so you've said, let's go, and you're walking along, if he's foraging out just a little bit out to the side or to in front of you, you want to pop and release back towards your hip. If he's really not focused on you, he's focused on other things, you're going to want to do what's called a 180-degree correction. So that's literally when you're walking forward and you pivot and you make a quick 180-degree turn. Holding the leash, it's going to do all the work for you, correcting him. And it's going to focus him back in on you, and it's going to make the walk much more enjoyable, and he'll be much more focused and engaged. And you can do that a few times if he's very distracted. You ready? You want to try that? Let's go. And pop. Good boy. Good boy. And pop. Good boy. Pop. Good job. Very nice. Good. Okay. And you can see after just a few corrections, he was much more in tune with me. He was making those turns with me, and those corrections were less necessary. And then when you're on leash and you're ready for him to go out of that position, go to the end of the leash and go potty, sniff around, what have you. Remember, you release with that, okay, and then he's free to do what he wants until you're ready to continue the walk. And then let's go initiates the walk again. Geronimo, here. Yeah, good boy. For leave it, is if he gets fixated on something else and isn't returning his focus back to you, pop and release towards you. And for drop it, if he's not dropping something that's in his mouth, you'll just pop and release straight up until he releases the object. Good boy. Okay. Shake. Oh, double shake.